All right, you guys. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you guys are all doing well. So, for this week's news report, take your cup of joe, take a quick sip, and let's get started. So, in sports, we have that Messi robs Holland of his Ballon d'Or. Now, I had a previous video that I just released, guys, on this, and yeah, you guys can see very, very controversial, but yeah, no doubt. I mean, if any of you guys are actually advocating that Messi really deserved this, I mean, just go back and watch my video, guys. I don't really need to go that much in depth, but Haaland won the treble. It's that simple, and he was the top scorer in every competition. Messi won the World Cup, but he didn't even carry that team, honestly. Emi Martinez and Alvarez kind of carried that team, in my opinion, more than him. In other news, another person that got robbed this week was Francis Ngannou in the boxing match against Tyson Fury. Yeah, that was an absolute robbery. Everybody kind of knows that Tyson Fury definitely lost that. He got knocked on his butt at least twice. And got, I mean, you could see his face afterwards was just totally like messed up, and Ngannou looked like he had just went for a jog. That was about it. Um, but yeah, Ngannou definitely rocked him, and you can kind of see the bias in there that they like the whole world saw that. I mean, there's really no hiding it, honestly, at this point. Whole world saw Tyson Fury got knocked on his butt. Very embarrassing for boxing in general, because for a guy that's never actually boxed professionally before to just totally knock out the world champion like that. I mean, it wasn't a total knockout, but you know what I mean. Knock him on his butt twice. I mean, that's pretty embarrassing, not gonna lie. And he dominated the fight, in my opinion, as well. Next up in sports, we have Anwar El Ghazi. His contract was terminated for FC Mainz in Germany in the Bundesliga. His contract was terminated because he was showing support for Palestine online, and I guess the owners and everybody in the brand deals and all that stuff probably didn't like that very much, and they terminated his contract. I can only imagine, he actually was quoted to have said on his Instagram, he posted this. He said, "Stand for what is right, even if it means standing alone. The loss of my livelihood is nothing when compared to the hell being unleashed on the innocent and vulnerable people of Gaza." So that just goes to show you guys, don't be afraid to stand up for the truth if you're the only one standing up. Yeah, man, it's very unfortunate, but I have high hopes that a club in Saudi might offer him a pretty lucrative deal or something like that. You know what I'm saying? In recognition for his efforts. So may Allah make things easy for him and his family, and as well as the families of Palestine and everywhere else where all the Muslims are being oppressed and suffering, and everybody else who is suffering and being oppressed around the world as well. I mean. Next up in sports, we also have Arsenal has lost 1-0 to Newcastle away from home under some controversial circumstances. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Just the refs, man. I don't even know, like, at this point what to say about it, because it's just like they really just they are so inconsistent with the rules that I don't even know anymore. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to like offsides and things like that. It's yeah, and fouls and just you name it. I mean, VAR is just total and utter rubbish. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. I'm not even gonna entertain it very much. Yeah. So, up next, we have economics. So in economics, we've got some interesting news. Apparently, we've just printed money out of thin air. You know what I mean? Making it rain, apparently, on Israel. USA approves $14 billion in foreign aid to Israel in help with the war efforts. So that is interesting, because I thought that we were struggling to get the budget approved and all this other stuff, and we just produced $14 billion out of thin air. Very interesting. Lawmakers, in other news, are calling upon federal agencies to crack down more on AI voice scams over the phone, because they're gathering a lot of people's information and getting people to agree to things they did not agree to by manipulating voices and parts of the conversation to get them to agree to terms that they do not agree with. So, big reminder for you guys, do not answer the phone if you don't recognize the number. And the second you hear a voice that you don't recognize on the phone, even if you do answer, just hang up. If the person really wants to get to you, they can text you or they can email you or whatever, you know what I mean? Or meet with you in person if it's that important. Guys, don't be answering the phone if you don't recognize the number, man. A lot of older people getting scammed with that as well. In a letter to the Federal Trade Commission and the Federal Communications Commission Friday, the lawmakers requested that the committees respond to 4 questions by November 17th. The questions include what steps they were taking to educate the American public about such crimes and to prevent them, what they had learned so far about what the artificial intelligence-based voice fraud, what resources were being used to fight them, and was more legislation necessary to combat the fraud. The requests come as Americans increasingly struggle to detect what's real and what is not. More swindlers use speech synthesis technology to mimic a person's voice to defraud that person's family members or friends of their money. These scams prey on our best instincts to help our loved ones in need, cause great distress, and raise security concerns, the senators wrote. Yeah, pretty big deal, guys. A lot of scams going on around there. It's pretty bad. A lot of older people, like I said, getting scammed. So guys, just stay vigilant. That's all I can really say about that. And in other economic news, we have BRICS definitely becoming more of a talking point at this point because of, as I discussed earlier, the $14 billion approved suddenly out of thin air. USA continues, like I said, to abuse its power in funding Israel for these war crimes. And countries such as Argentina have started using the yuan instead. That's another thing. And last but not least in economics, as I said last week, invest in gold and silver and ammo and stock up on food. Can't reiterate that enough. We've got some tough times ahead of us, potentially with what's going on around the world. So, yeah, guys, best thing to do, try to stay prepared and keep making dua, guys. And in celebrity news / entertainment news, Logan Paul is the new U.S. champion of WWE. He was officially crowned that at Crown Jewel. The pay-per-view in WWE. I thought that was pretty interesting. He's the new U.S. champion. Yeah, it seems like Logan Paul is taking this WWE thing very seriously, guys. I've got to say, I didn't think he would take it that far and get that far and become a champion and all that kind of stuff. I thought it would just be kind of like a regular, sort of thing, little cameo every now and then. But it seems like he's actually pretty committed to it. So, hats off to him for being able to do that. So, yeah. And in other news, boxer Julio Cesar Chavez has been admitted to the psych ward after downing a bunch of pills at 37 years old, man. Very, very sad news. Mental illness and all that kind of stuff is a very, very big deal, especially in the boxing community, man. So my heart goes out to him and his family. May Allah make things easy for him and allow him to recover. And in other news, we have Bassem Youssef going on the Piers Morgan show for part 2. Totally tore it up once again. Piers Morgan seemed to be a little bit less biased in this interview, though. Definitely was appealing more towards the Palestinian side, I felt. Hats off to Piers Morgan for that. Bassem Youssef, once again, killing it with all the information and everything like that. And he said himself in the interview, he's not exactly the best source, but even with the generic information that he gives, it still brings a lot of awareness to the whole issue going on in Palestine. So, hats off to Bassem Youssef for that. And hats off to Piers Morgan for once again hosting the show and probably breaking records once again. In entertainment news, guess what, guys? Mortal Kombat, okay? I didn't even know that. I'm not sure if, what is it called? The Boys is actually owned by Warner Brothers. I think there may be some sort of affiliation there. I'm not 100% certain. But Mortal Kombat has just announced that they're going to be bringing in with a new DLC Homelander and Omni-Man and the Peacemaker, aka John Cena, into the brand new Mortal Kombat game. After that, I wasn't even going to originally get the game. Just for that DLC alone, I am definitely, inshallah, going to be getting the game because that game with Homelander and Omni-Man, are you kidding me? And if they do, what I really want them to do, right, is a DLC with the Justice League and the Legion of Doom. I think that would be absolutely amazing. Then you could have Homelander versus Superman, Superman versus Omni-Man, and just, oh my gosh, I'm just having a nerdgasm right now, guys. I mean, just absolute insanity. I really, really want to see that. bring back the old days of Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. I don't know if you guys ever played that game. I played that game on PS3. I used to love that game. Oh my gosh, man. You could have like the Flash and just, oh man, it's just amazing. So yeah, hopefully we can see that DLC come up soon, inshallah. Maybe they'll take my suggestion. Guys, you know, share it down below, guys. Share it down below. Take a clip, share it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyways, so in world news, we have that Yemen has officially declared war on Israel. That is a pretty big deal, of great symbolism for the rest of the region. I don't want this to escalate any further. Honestly, I'd rather there just be a ceasefire and we're kind of done with it. Come up with a solution to the problem. But it seems like it's escalating further and further. And other countries may start to step in as well. So as I said, guys, get your gold, get your silver, get your food, get your ammo, and hide your kids, hide your wife. There we go. There it is. Now I remember that. Hide your kids, hide your wife, because everybody, yeah. And in other news, China has actually removed Israel from their maps and relabeled it as Palestine. So that is a very symbolic effort in of itself. I wish that they would stop with the concentration camps with the Uyghurs, but I guess that's one step forward, right, towards progression. Now we also have that Ukraine is apparently jealous of the spotlight that is on Palestine and Israel, and apparently wants a little more attention on the war. So now that that's not getting any more media coverage, that may start to slow down. Not insinuating anything here. But yeah, so protests and rallies all over the world, though, including major cities like London and Washington, D.C., and many other major cities around the world. In D.C., there was 300,000 protesters at the rally demanding a ceasefire, so that was a really, really big deal. Yeah, I mean, all we can do is, you know, we don't exactly have the military power or anything like that to stop what's going on, but, you know, we do have our voices. So, guys, you know, if you guys are, you know, buying Israeli products and stuff like that knowingly, perhaps, you know, take a step back and consider boycotting, because it seems to be very effective, because there was actually a story about in Texas, I believe, where hurricane disaster relief was being distributed. If you are actively boycotting Israeli products, you are not eligible for that. I don't know how they verify any of that kind of stuff, but that was actually another news story which I thought was quite interesting. It's basically, yeah, suppression of freedom of speech and freedom of just buying things. I didn't know that they could control that. Apparently they can. And in other news, Bolivia and Bahrain have cut ties with Israel. So that is also pretty big news as well, especially for Bolivia, man. Hats off to them for taking a step forward and, you know, taking a stand against what's going on, the atrocities that are going on there. But yeah, guys, I don't think there's any way back from this. I think they've gotta come up with something actually to resolve this whole thing, because it's getting way out of hand. But yeah, guys, we are living in very difficult times, so make sure you are as prepped as possible. Keep your salat up, keep your money up, keep your health up, and bless me up. Subscribe to my channel down below and like this video and share it with your friends and family. I hope to see you all again in the next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.